All right, guys. Dicka versus Category 5 Hurricane. Who you got?
I'm going to have to side with Mother Nature on this one.
Squirrel, you obviously don't know the true powers of Dicka's moose-laden hair. Dicka could stop any natural disaster with the flick of his mustache.
It's 9:08. You're listening to the Average Joe Sports Show here on Eagle 810's Morning Cruise Control. I'm the host of the show, Senior Airman Kellen Carr, and I got three Joes in the studio with me to talk about some hot topics in sports right now. To my left, I got with me Jambox. What's up, brother?
What's up, Kellen? How you doing today?
You know what? I'm doing well, man. It's finally Friday. How you doing? You got any big weekend plans? Anything?
Oh yeah. Do some cooking out for sure.
You doing some cooking?
Do it every weekend, man.
All right.
Every weekend.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. And then I got in front of me, we got Jay. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I got the velvety smooth voice, man. Might come down a little bit of fever. So.
Look, he thinks it's velvety smooth.
I know it's velvety smooth.
Sounds a little raspy over
Yeah,
here.
that sounds
little combination.
very raspy.
Little Barry White mixed with DMX. That's what I'm going for right now.
Oh my goodness! And then over here to my right, we got a new one. We got Paul Moynihan, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you
Introduce
doing?
yourself, man. What squadron you from? Where you representing? What?
I'm from the Delta Squadron, representing the Med Group. I want to say go Dallas Cowboys, America's team.
What?
Yep,
Oh,
America's team.
America's team's playing right now. No.
He opened
America's
it
team.
up. All right.
Okay, we got a new
It
target.
is the Average Joe's. And see, that's the thing, Paul. Everybody comes on here, man. You got to have a nickname. And since you don't have one, since you didn't
Yeah.
supply me with one, I got to give
Understood.
you one. Moynihan. I'm thinking Paul Moynihan. P Money.
Sounds good to me.
You're P Money today, all right?
Yep.
All right. And folks, speaking of sports, we got Thursday night football, which is Friday morning here in Japan. We got the Redskins versus the Giants getting ready to kick off. Jambox, your team is about to get blasted.
That's America's team, buddy. Don't even say that.
Hey, so check it out. These guys are going to be giving you some fantasy football starters. Who should you start this week? Who should you sit? We'll also be talking about Derek Jeter. Bill Simmons was suspended by ESPN. Eric Bledsoe got a fat contract, and Bortles versus Bridgewater. Which one would you go with? Stay tuned. That's all going down here on the Average Joe Sports Show. And then if any point in time you want to call in and give us your opinion, well, hit us up. 225-2379 is the number to call. And you get some free food just for giving us your opinion. Hey, we're back to the music. Here's Milky Chance with Stolen Dance.
You're tuned into the Average Joe Sports Show by there. Keep it Kilbasa Canto playing.
9:16. Yes, we're back here in the studio, and this is the Average Joe Show. I'm Kellen. We also got Jambox. We got my man Jay, and we got P Money all in the studio. And now it's time to talk about some starters and who you starting, who you sitting this week for Week 4 of fantasy football. And you know what? Even if you're not a fantasy footballer, we're just basically talking about who you think is going to ball out this week. Who do you think is going to have a bad week? And we're going to start with our quarterbacks. P Money, I'm going to go with you, brother. What's up?
I'm going to go with Phillip Rivers against the Jacksonville Jaguars. That defense is atrocious. They're just going to go off.
Phillip Rivers, you're starting Phillip Rivers?
Yes, sir.
Against the Jags.
Yep.
And then who you sitting?
I'm going to sit, actually, Eli Manning against this Washington defense. Their secondary is actually, their secondary is actually really good, but I'm going to sit Eli.
Sitting Eli. All right.
Eli.
Okay, what do you think, Jay?
All right, so check this out. I'm going to start Drew Brees against the Cowboys, okay? Especially after how he carved them up like Thanksgiving turkey last year. All right, I mean, their defense is playing much, much better, but I think Drew Brees needs to bounce back from last week. Who I'm sitting, honestly, I'm going to sit Matthew Stafford against the Jets defense.
Oh.
All right, that's. I know he got Calvin Johnson. I know he has weapons, but the Jets defense has really been playing up the bar.
They really do.
These past couple of weeks, and I think they have, especially that front seven, they're going to get to Matthew Stafford this week, and that's kind of going to affect him. If Calvin Johnson doesn't ball out, he's going to have a bad game.
Yeah, their run defense is really the big one, but
Right.
the Jets defense is very underrated. And who you got, Jambox?
Oh man, you know what? You caught me off guard with this, and I ain't
Talking
got
to the mic, brother.
Football thing going on, and but I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. Like I said, I didn't even look at the matchups this week. I'm gonna go with the old trusty Russell Wilson.
Russell
Yeah,
Wilson.
yeah. Just regardless, because he's just a clutch player, man. Like I said, I don't even know who they're playing. I'd go with him.
All right, and then who you sitting? You got to talk into the mic, directly into it.
Sitting, Tony Romo, man.
Tony Romo. That's actually not a bad one to sit this week. I would sit out Tony Romo as well. And let's go ahead and go on to our running backs. Jay, who you starting this week at running back?
All right, honestly, I'm starting. I'm going to go Le'Veon Bell. I'm going to stick with the Steelers, okay? Le'Veon Bell against the Buccaneers defense. The defense the Buccaneers have been playing isn't defense at all, okay, to be honest with you. So Le'Veon Bell has been balling out the past couple of weeks, and I think they're going to keep that trend going, especially how they felt against the Carolina Panthers. All right, and sitting, honestly, I'll probably end up sitting LaShawn McCoy against the 49ers.
Ooh.
I'm going to start him
yeah.
in my league because I don't have anybody else. But last week, what he had, 26 yards total. All right, and I think the 49ers are out for something to prove, especially after the first 3 weeks of play. I don't like the way that they're using LaShawn McCoy this season. All right, so I would probably sit him for this game.
All right, and what about you, P Money? Who you got?
I'm going to start DeMarco Murray, Dallas Cowboys against New Orleans. I know old boy's been balling out this week, past couple of weeks, almost leading the league in rushing. I'm going to stick with him. I'm actually going to sit.
Coming from a Cowboys fan, I don't know.
Hey, I'm a homer. I'm sitting Eddie Lacy against Chicago. That guy has done nothing this year for me. I drafted him with my first pick. Done nothing for me. Nothing. I'm sitting him. He's done. He's done for me. He needs to prove himself, and then he can come back on the starting roster.
All right, who you got, Jambox?
Man, I'm looking at the matchups. I got to go with Jay on this one, man. Le'Veon Bell, because Tampa Bay has no defense.
All right.
At all.
Still an AC.
All right, and then who you sitting?
Sitting? Man, you know what? I don't like how they're using LaShawn McCoy. I know they got Darren Sproles out there to pick up some of the, plays and stuff, but we haven't seen a lot out of him lately. They got good balance going with the bounce between Sproles, and I would sit him if I had him.
I'm telling you right now, folks, if you're listening, I'd pick up Matt Ajita. All right,
Matt Ajita?
Yes, I'm talking Minnesota.
Minnesota.
You got to pick him up
because Adrian Peterson's not playing anymore.
Because Adrian Peterson's not playing, and the Falcons' defense doesn't stop the run very well.
Not very.
And that's a good pickup for this week. And then I would probably have to sit. I'd probably sit Reggie Bush this week. I think
I was thinking about that.
I would probably sit Reggie Bush this week, and even Bell as well. I don't know if I'd start either one of them this week. All right.
No disrespect.
Yeah, I'm
No
sorry.
disrespect.
Got to throw that out there.
Right.
But okay, P Money, who you starting at receiver, brother?
Who I'm starting? I'm going to start Alshon Jeffrey against Green Bay.
That's a good one.
Brandon Marshall, he's hurt. He's going to probably play. He's been probable in practice all week, but I don't see that happening too much.
All right, and quickly, who you starting, Jay?
Who am I starting? It's probably going to be Julio Jones. All right, that's who I'm definitely starting. Julio Jones against the Vikings defense.
Man, Julio, when he's healthy, man, one of the best in the business. And what about you? Who you got, Jambox?
Random thought here, man. Calvin Johnson.
Of course.
I know Jess got a good defense, but there you go, man. That dude's a beast.
Always. That's never a bad start with Calvin Johnson. He's at least going to get you 80 yards because they're going to
throw it up.
target him. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly right.
All right, and let's go. Let's just skip tight end altogether, but let's do defense real quick. Who you starting? Who you sitting? Defenses.
Jets. I'm on this thing with the Jets this week, man. I think they're going to ball out, so I'm going to start the Jets defense.
Okay. And who you sitting?
The Browns.
Sitting the Browns. All right.
The Browns defense.
The Browns have an underrated defense.
They have
as well.
a very underrated defense, but last week they didn't really play up to par. So.
All right, P Money. What about you, real quick?
I'm going to start San Diego against Jacksonville, and I'm actually going to sit, let's say, Buffalo against Houston.
All right, Jambox.
I think I would go with Atlanta. Atlanta defense.
You're starting Atlanta?
I would, yep. And sit. Man, if I had Tampa Bay, I would sit them all day long, man. I wouldn't even have them.
Yeah, that's not a bad one, but I think Minnesota's going to do some things against Atlanta this week. I'm just going to throw that out there. Hey, it's 9:22. We're back to the music. We have the Conto Connection coming up here in a bit, and also more from the Joes, our lightning round. Here's Miley Cyrus with We Can't Stop.
Skittle-a-bebop, we-bop, Scooby-Doo. Guess what, America? We love you. Because you rock and you roll with us so much soul, you could rock till you're 101 years old.
932, Blue right there trying to get his rap career
for real.
resurrected.
Nice.
All right, it's Kellen here. It's the Average Joe Sports Show. We got our Joes in the studio, Jambox, Jay, and P Money in the studio. And now it's time to go into what we like to call the lightning round. Now, real quickly, quarterback Drew Brees has been very critical of Commissioner Roger Goodell. Now, has he completely lost trust of the players, and has this gotten out of control? P Money, your thoughts?
Absolutely, he's gotten out of control. He's lost faith of all the players. I think he should step down. There's no reason for him to keep doing what he's doing. He's a hypocrite. I don't really like him too much. He doesn't stand by his word and all that. So, what I think
you can finish.
You
up your
finish
thought?
it up.
No, go ahead. Go
All
ahead.
right.
Go ahead.
All right, and Jay, what do you got?
Honestly, I've been the biggest Roger Goodell supporter on this show recently, but I don't know. Drew Brees makes some very, very valid points. I think he did lose the trust of the players. Once you lose the trust of the players, you basically lose the trust of the league.
All right, Jambox, what do you got?
Hey, Drew Brees called it for what it is. There's been no consistency. We've seen it over and over again. And how can you have the trust of your players when you're no consistency whatsoever in your policies?
All right. All right. And we're going to start this off while we're talking about Goodell. ESPN's Bill Simmons, he was actually highly critical of him as well. He got a 3-week suspension for his words that he said about Goodell on his podcast. Now, do you believe ESPN should have suspended Bill Simmons for that, Jay?
Honestly, no. All right. I've been really critical about ESPN as well, okay, and how they treat their radio broadcasters, but Bill Simmons made some valid points. I don't really like Bill Simmons, but this one, I kind of got his back. He went too far with that one, man.
P Money.
No, I don't think it was too far for ESPN at all to suspend him. What he did was he called out his leadership. He was like, "Hey, you know what?
Yep.
I dare you to say something to me about this." And they did. They got him.
Jambox.
Yeah, well, radio broadcasters, they, have their opinions and so forth. But yeah, I mean, he went overboard, and I think ESPN they did what they had to do in that situation.
All right. Well, while we're talking about, we're going to move on to baseball, actually. Derek Jeter, he's going to retire in this year. He's in his last days, and actually his last home game today in Yankee Stadium. Now, Keith Olbermann was actually highly critical of him and said he doesn't even believe Derek Jeter is one of the top 10 greatest Yankees of all time.
That's amazing.
All time. Are you buying this, Jambox?
Yeah and no.
Yes and no.
I had to call my mom on this one. She follows the Yankees more than I do, and all she had to say, amongst all the expletives, was he has been consistent all along.
All right. And what do you got for us, Jay?
Hey, honestly, I disagree with Oldman, man. He has been consistent, and not even the fact of his consistency on the field, but off the field. How good of a guy he's been, like an ambassador to the Major League Baseball League. Like you have to give him that top 10, man.
P Money, jump in there.
I don't think he's one of the top 10 of all time. Honestly, he is a boring player.
Oh.
Boring. You think of the
real.
greats. You think of the greats. You think of Babe Ruth, Mickey
I knew
Mantle. You think of all
knew
these
it.
people that really stick in, the legends.
Whatever.
I was gonna say, if we're going with Babe Ruth here, that's a
No,
different
but I
story
mean,
now.
like, no.
All right,
not at
all right. Now, Twins pitcher Phil Hughes, he was actually 1 out away from making a $500,000 bonus, but then they got a rain delay. $500,000 for 1 out. Now, do you think he should get this? P Money, should they go ahead and give it to him?
They should give it to him. It's not his fault that they got a rain delay. He was lights out in that game. He's got one of the biggest strike to walk ratios in the league. I think, definitely they should give it to him. He earned it. He earned it.
I'm with you on that. What do you think, Jay?
No, don't give him that man that money. It's so funny to me. I'm sorry, that's like really messed up.
1 out away from 500,000.
Oh man, that sucks. Oh, sorry, bro. Try again next year. That's how I think. All right.
It's a contract.
Hold up.
Jambox.
Hey, look, man, a contract is a contract. That's a legally binding document, and he didn't get it. But that, I think, would fall under an act of God clause. That was not his fault that he got rained out, man. I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one.
That really is a tough one. All right, well, we're talking baseball. Okay, who do you see making a title run this year? Who you got, Jay?
Pittsburgh Pirates, man. They caught fire as soon as hey, don't shake your head. They caught fire when they needed to.
P Money's like, nope,
they've been
not buying
balling
it.
out. All right, I got the Pirates for the World Series. Okay, that's me.
Wow.
Period. Yes, I said it.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Heard it here first.
Jambox, who you got?
Man, I put all the baseball teams like on a dartboard, and I threw a dart, and it wound it on the Dodgers. So I'm gonna go with them.
He said,
Dodgers. I said on the
Yeah, man.
he said three.
Hey, you know me. I'm watching History Channel, buddy.
All right, P Money, what you got, man?
I'm gonna go with the Dodgers also, just because Clayton
But not
Kershaw.
because you threw it.
No dartboards at my house. No. Clayton Kershaw is lights out. Yasiel Puig's playing great baseball. He's got a heck of an arm out in the outfield. And Adrian Gonzalez, he's hitting bombs all day.
All right, and we're going to toss it back to some football. Now, who do you see having a better week just this week? Blake Bortles with the Jaguars or Teddy Bridgewater with Minnesota? And P Money, I'm going to start with you.
I'm going to go Bortles. I've seen him in preseason. He is a great quarterback. I think he's going to be really good
I'm
years
not
to
talking
come.
about overall, though. I'm
No.
talking about this
All
week.
right, this week,
Yeah.
Bridgewater. No, Bortles. Bortles is going to have a better week.
All right.
Bridgewater's not that great.
Oh, okay.
I don't think
Whoa.
so. I don't think
And
so.
You know what?
Jay.
No, you watch your tongue, okay? Teddy Bridgewater is going to have a better week than Bortles. All right. Bortles playing against the Chargers defense. We're going to come at him.
Yep.
Okay. Falcons defense kind of
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Bridgewater's the man, dog.
Jambox.
Man, I'm about to contradict what I said about fantasy football and the Atlanta
look.
defense, because I would go with Bridgewater's.
Oh,
I
my
would
goodness.
absolutely over Bortles
He
every day.
completely contradicted
Did his homework.
himself.
Did his
Yep,
homework there.
absolutely.
Look
right.
at you switching lanes.
All right, and lastly, real quick,
I just changed my mind.
Eric Bledsoe with the Phoenix Suns, he got a deal for 5 years, $70 million. Is he worth this money? What do you think, Jambox?
$70 million? That's a lot of money. I mean, how many hours is he going to work a week for that, man? I'd really like to know that. Man, that's a lot of money. I mean, there's not enough hours in the week for that, man.
Oh, my goodness. Jay.
Yes, he's worth every single cent, man. Eric Bledsoe is a very good point guard. You know I follow basketball
Definitely.
to the T, but Eric Bledsoe was worth every bit of that money. And if Phoenix didn't re-sign him, somebody else was going to
He's
get him.
progressively gotten better each year, too.
Each year.
He dropped 17 a game last year, one of the better young point guards in the game. What do you think, P-Money?
I think he's definitely worth the money. I think what they were trying to give him was only $2 million less than what they gave him this time. I think it's definitely worth the money. He's going to be getting paid a lot more as an unrestricted free agent next year than what they signed for him this year.
Absolutely correct. All right, it's 9:38. We're going to get back to the music, but we'll find out what's on the Joes' minds here in a moment. First, MKTO with American Dream.
And here's what the Joes have on their mind today.
9:46. We're back in the studio. It's Kellen. We got Jambox, Jay, and P Money all in the studio and having a great average Joes. But now I got to find out what's on the Joes' mind. And Jambox, I'm going to start with you.
Man, you're setting me up here. There's a New York Giants game on. You know that's what's on my mind. It would take an extinction level event to distract me from this right now. I'll tell you that.
He said an extinction level event.
That's intense.
That is,
I've never heard that.
That is very intense. I've heard it on a Busta Rhymes album. He had that was the name of one of his albums, Extinction Level Event. So that's good stuff right there. Make sure you check out AFN Sports. We got the Redskins and the Giants playing. If you want to know what else is playing, well, check out myafn.net. Jay, what's on your mind?
Well, first and foremost, there's a Steelers game on Monday morning for us. So Steelers against Buccaneers. But really, I'm going with Cincinnati Bengals. Devon Still, his daughter had the surgery, all right, and the tumor is now gone.
Was it successful?
It was successful surgery, and the tumor is now gone.
Kind of update people about that if they're not familiar with it. With the story.
But the story, I guess Devon Still, he was cut originally by the Cincinnati Bengals, but his daughter actually had cancer, so they actually brought him back on the practice squad to help him pay for her actual surgery, and his jersey sales and all of that too.
Yes.
So they're keeping him on the team so that he can help with his daughter. So it feels really good.
Absolutely phenomenal story. Did you see the video of them before they went into the surgery? I'm not gonna lie.
Very inspirational video.
Almost had my waterworks going.
He gave her a little pep talk, and it was just glorious.
He goes,
you should check that out.
He goes, you ready for this? And she was like, yeah. And then they did a little fist pump.
You got to go check it out. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out.
Real good story. And then he posted on there. He said, no matter how hard I'm hurting inside, I can't show her. I got to give her the strength. Really good story. I'm glad you brought that up, Jay. Good one right there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And P Money, what you got?
What's on my mind today is Derek Jeter's last game in Bronx Stadium. Went ahead and got an RBI to open up the Bronx, and last game in Yankee Stadium. I think sent him off well.
Man, Derek Jeter, one of the most stand-up professional individuals in all of professional sports. Yes. His whole career. So whether he's a top 10 Yankee or not, just a true stand-up guy and just a tremendous individual as a professional athlete. Definitely someone to emulate. And Jay, you killed me, man. You killed me. I wish I would have ended with yours.
I'm sorry.
Because I don't think any of the rest of ours are that good compared to yours.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true.
Mine was.
It's tough following that one.
I just saw it. It really was.
Yeah.
I apologize for that.
No worries.
But LeBron James, he's down to 250. He said that's a problem for the league. He cut weight. He said this year it's going to be it's
cut
over.
weight and he's down to 250.
Hey, Jay, that was my next point.
Cut weight and he's at 250.
Jay, that was my next point. I was going to say if LeBron, because I saw some pictures of him, he's ripped up now.
Yeah.
He didn't look quite as thick as he was.
250.
But I'm like, you're still 250. So how much was he weighing?
Exactly.
He was like 280, I think.
He had to be
before.
at least 280. And I'm talking about that's 280 of muscle.
Yeah.
Like LeBron should be a linebacker or not linebacker, but a tight end. A lineman. But no, he's too fast. He'd be a tight end.
True, but
he'd be Jimmy Graham.
I seem to remember us talking about this
guard
last.
ever.
Man, that is crazy. But gentlemen, a great Average Joe Sports Show. I
Thanks for
appreciate
having
you
us.
joining us. P Money, Jambox, Jay, excellent
having
job,
us.
fellas.